Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. And yes, we are on episode 200. That is 200 amazing entrepreneurs, powerhouses, changing the world, going through the motions, and still rising above. I am super excited to have this guest today that we are about to bring on the Bomb podcast platform. I'm super excited. She's an amazing individual. Had a pleasure to meet her back in 2023. But first, let me just send some shout outs to our sponsors. Thank you so much for Carolyn Bob Green, who is the CEO and founder of Training You to Succeed and the Passionpreneur. Her information will be in the show notes, so definitely connect with her. We have Top Fox, who was the sponsor of our first anthology, Taking Off the Shades. Super excited to have them sponsor that project. We also have Julia Noah with Breathe Capital Planning, as well as, of course, our Ladies of Leadership. And this guest we have today is one of our members. She joined us back in June of 2023, and just watching, first of all, already amazing, watching her growth and everything that she stepped into. And she is none other than Yara N. Ortiz. She is the owner and CEO of BCS, Bookkeeping Consulting Services, and the founder of Money Moves with Yara. She is a 3-time international bestselling author. She's an award-winning author and speaker. She's a TV host and a trusted nonprofit financial consultant and master personal financial coach. With over 14 years of experience in the financial management, Yara has helped countless nonprofits build strong foundations and create structured financial systems before launching her business company. She served as the director of finance and HR at a charter school in her community. As a personal financial coach, Yara helps single moms take control of their money and build lasting financial stability through education, mindset shifts, and personalized planning. She guides them to create strategic budgets, pay off debt, and pay their money to work for them. Being a single mom herself, Yara understands firsthand the challenges they face. She delivers solutions that truly work in the real world. While BCS specializes in nonprofit and personal financial coaching, they also support service-based small business with their financial management needs. Outside of her work, Yara loves spending time with her son, soaking up the sun at the beach, and enjoying a great Zumba class. Without further ado, let's get her right here on the stage. Welcome, Yara. How are you?
Hi, Nikki. I'm doing awesome. How about you?
I am doing well. First of all, so blessed to have you in my life as a sister, as a friend, as a collaborator, as a partner, as a TV show host on the same network, Prospera TV. Shout outs to our Elena Rodriguez, as well as we serve Besitos Beauty all day, every day. I know I have mine's on. So shout out to her. Yep, we got to come in hot with our lipsticks on. So tell us, Yara, how are you and how is this journey?
Oh my God, what a roller coaster of journey have I had my whole life, but the past few years has been like it's been great, always a few roadblocks here and there and setbacks, but it's all part of the journey, it's all part of the growth. You just learn and you continue pushing through and um moving forward. I have grown a lot in the past few years, personally, professionally, spiritual, and all the least. um, and it's been an amazing journey, honestly.
Well, it has been an amazing journey to watch, to witness, to be a part of, as well as the influence you had, not only that you have, because you still have it, not only in my life to keep going, but also in our community as well. So tell us a little bit about who that was back in the day before we made a decision to really take life into our own hands.
Yes, so I am Puerto Rican by nationality. I was born in Puerto Rico. I was raised in New York. Part of my childhood was Puerto Rico, then New York, and then I went back. So New Yorican, as we call us. And I'm the only girl of four siblings and the youngest one. So it has the pros and cons to be the only girl. So I have a son. He's 18 years old. He just turned. He's now a freshman in college. And my life in New York was a little bit of everything, right? It was a lot of wins, a lot of hurt, losses. And then from there, kind of fast forward, I relocated to now South Carolina, where it's like since I moved here, everything has just moved so fast. I always say if God's hand has not been in this, I don't know what it is because everything has been fast and things that I'm in awe still how his hand has been upon everything that I've done. Of course, challenges, because like I said before, it's part of the journey and the growth and whatnot. But it's just moving forward still.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So that's building leadership mindset. Like, not everyone picks up and leaves from, what they know, right? And go into the unknown for various reasons. And it takes a lot of self-reflection, inventory. Tell me what your mindset was when you were making that decision to make the move.
Yeah, so when I was in New York, I in growing up and whatnot, I never thought I would leave New York because in my mind it's like I would never leave New York. I am a New Yorker wherever I'm at, no matter how long it's been, or no matter if I don't live there anymore, I will always be a New Yorker. But there was it came a time where I felt like I was not being fulfilled. Like I outgrew people and the environment I was in. So I was like praying to God, like what's going on, right? Plus I was just gone through a whole life event with being, in a toxic relationship. So it was like a lot going on emotionally and mentally and whatnot. So I was asking God, about, like help me, guide me, right? And so it just, that this came in of me moving to relocating to South Carolina. So I picked up and left. And when I say I picked up and left, it was not that easy because I was leaving behind, all I knew. New York was all I knew. I was leaving behind family and friends and whatnot. But this is one of the reasons why I said earlier, like if his hand was not on this whole situation, I don't know what it was because everything happened so smoothly, like it was his command, right? It was part of his plan for us to relocate because in less than a week I was able to find the apartment, register my son to school into school, and everything happened so smoothly, and then within a year of being in the apartment, then I was able to buy my home, which I was trying for years to do in New York, and I was like, oh my God, you should have just told me I was in the wrong state, right? So, so everything has happened so smoothly. Yes, I have my bumps and here on the road, of course. I don't know no one here in South Carolina. Um, we have no friends or anything now. Thankfully, my son have met people and friends from high school and whatnot, but it can be real lonely at times. If it wasn't for my community, online community, like the ladies of leadership and all the communities that I'm in, it would have been even, I don't even know what I would do with myself.
Yeah, definitely. So powerful. I can totally relate to making that transition, that big, bold move from one state to another, right? Coming, leaving Chicago at age 19 to go to a state where I knew no one. Yes, I had family, but I wasn't raised with them. I didn't know what I was going into, but definitely wanted a different trajectory in my life. And it's scary. It's scary to put yourself in that. And, you, at this point, you have your son, he's taking a whole new, different, path as far as, his friends, and what he has built, as a child, and now coming to, going to South Carolina and having to rebuild, right? I felt like that was me, when I used to go from school to school, but it takes a bold initiative. And there was something that drove you for that, right? Whether it was, a new path in life. Now, was BCS born at this time, or did BCS come after?
No, BCS was born in New York. BCS is a New Yorker as well. So it happened in 2020 when I decided to finally make it. I say make it legit, but what I mean by that is actually file and actually create BCS. But I've been doing this way long before BCS actually came into, like, was born. Um, but it was in the early stages, right? Before I moved and relocated to South Carolina, BCS has really grown a lot being here after the move, the relocation.
For sure. And so as a new now entrepreneur, you had been in this field for 14 years. And but nonprofits have been your niche. How did that come about? Like, that's truly one of your passions. And how did you feel of really niching down? Was it just nonprofits at first, or did you automatically start? I mean, did you automatically start with nonprofits, or did you start with small businesses, helping them on the on those things?
So it came automatically, nonprofits, because it was one of those things that I always like to help. I always wanted to help. I actually wanted to be a social worker when I came out of high school to help, the youth, more specifically, and children and whatnot. It just didn't happen. So since I always been good with money and with numbers, so I said, okay, I guess the accounting probably will be. But growing up, always seeing people in need and seeking for help, and the new nonprofits in the community being the lifeline, and sometimes the only lifeline in their communities. And some of them have had to close down because they couldn't sustain themselves, whether mainly because of financial uh, situations and issues, because they couldn't find funding, or they wouldn't be able to manage the books correctly or whatnot. And I always say, you know what, my way to give, even if it's behind the doors, behind the curtains, is by helping them having their finances straight and well structured. Because as you may know, funders is, the finances, what funders really look mainly before they release those funds. So me helping the nonprofits to have their finances structured in clear and transparency, it's my way of saying, okay, I'm helping as well.
And I don't mean to backtrack because I know you, but this is something I really want, like, our audience to hear, because I think if we start with our children at a very early age, tell us, what age were you when you opened your first bank account and started managing your own money?
First of all, since I was little, I used to play with the machines and the and the number of the paper, which I just love that, right? And just ripping out the paper, the receipt or whatnot. But at 11 years old, that's when I opened my very first bank account. And I don't know, I got a gift. My godmom gave me money, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put in the bank. I went to the bank, of course, with my mom, and I opened the account, and from there, and it was actually me managing. I remember opening my little checkbook, register, and putting debit, credit. I took out, I put in. I used to just love that. Call me crazy, but I used to like it, enjoy it.
Very early on. Imagine if we can just manage our finances, and we're going to get into it in just a bit more on the personal side with some of the other initiatives that you have, which we would love to highlight, because this really came after you started joining communities and seeing what other possibilities were out there, and you have just flourished in really getting a clear picture of what you want to see, not just for yourself, but those that you can support. So I'm super excited about it, but we're going to go into a quick commercial break. So we'll be right back. Hello, hello. We are back with Yara N. Ortiz. She is the CEO and founder and owner of BCS. And that was her promo right there as we continue to support her on her journey. And we talked a little bit about BCS and her love for nonprofits and really making sure that they get the funding they deserve, that they're able to get their missions completed year in and year out with the correct bookkeeping, with the correct financial management, with the core of their mission being on the forefront, where she's in the background, making sure that they are hitting their goals, that they're exceeding their goals, and they're really placing the impact into the community as what all nonprofits should. And she actually also sits on the board of Youth Rising, which is coming full force in 2026. She said just a moment ago before the commercial break that she always had a passion for the youth, and I can't wait. So she also is a part of that journey on really teaching our youth the importance about a dollar, right? And where can that take you and how to make it move for you. But there's some other initiatives that she has going on, and she's going to talk about a few of those right now. Yara, take us away. What are some of the projects you're working on?
Projects. Well, I already mentioned and talked a little bit about BCS, and I specialize in nonprofits and pretty much managing the books. As a financial consultant, I work with women, and more specifically with single moms, to help them take control of their money and be able to help them understand about money and how to manage it, so that they can be able to come out of debt. And also, I also target the mindset, because that's key. That must happen, because most people don't. They could do I always say, if I could help you do 5 budgets, 100 budgets, but if your mindset don't change, nothing's going to happen. That is key. When that shift happens, that's when people see the results and things start to really stick. So I help them with strengthening their money and managing, get out of debt and all of that. And aside from that, and maybe this is what you are referring to, is I have my Badass Mama Moves show through the Prospera TV Network. And this happened earlier this year during June, sometime during early summer. And never would I have thought I'd be a TV host. That was completely new. When Atlanta came to me and asked me, I wasn't even sure, but I said yes. Okay, it's fine, I'll do it. But I was so scared, like, how am I gonna do this? I'm actually having fun doing it, to be honest. You're sharing my story in sharing experiences. So through my show, I speak to moms, especially single mom, my fellow single mamas, about motherhood and navigating the solo parenting life, the ups and downs and struggles and stuff like that. And it's been a journey. It's been really fun to have those conversations. Although I'm recording myself, it's like I see it as a conversation with whoever's in the other side of the TV or whatnot, and it's been great. Aside from that, a lot of people may not know that I'm also a Ramsey coach. I have the honor to be one of Ramsey's preferred coaches, and I teach FPU, Financial Peace University, and that is where I teach the famous baby steps from Dave Ramsey, where um, he has helped millions of people get out of debt with this system and structure and build wealth and take control of their money. So this is a 9-week guided course where I teach the baby steps. And I actually have my next cycle coming this winter of 2026. Um, and I really I enjoy doing that because that's another way of me really helping people, with money. Because the millions of people that are in debt right now in the United States, it's just scary. And a lot of people don't realize, how deep they are. Sometimes they are so immune to it that they don't even realize. So helping people to really understand their money and habits and stuff like that, so they don't be part of the statistic, it's just really rewarding.
Yeah, I love that. And I actually wanted you to allude to all of those things because those are because that is the growth that I've been able to see, you becoming an author, a speaker, award winning at that on both levels, has been truly a gift for me. And to be able to walk along that journey with you. But let's talk about first the money moves with Yara. That's something, again, that's passionate to your heart, something that you found that, mamas all over, especially single mamas, we need some love. We need some people to say, hey, it's going to be okay. And let's get your money right. So you don't have to depend on anyone so that you can, be able to um, either build your business or that you can be able to provide for your family, which is the ultimate bottom line when it comes to really knowing where our money's going. Share what are the most, probably two of the most common things you see with some of the people that you work with. And you talked about that you have to hit the mindset first, right?
Yeah.
So share two of the biggest common habits that you see out there right now that needs to be really looked at.
Yeah. So two of the main ones. So first is people not knowing where they stand financially. They don't even know where the money goes. They don't have no clue. They know that they got paid today and tomorrow the account is a negative. That's all they know, right? They don't know nothing in between. It's because they don't have a plan. They don't budget, right? People hear the word budget, automatically think restriction, or they think punishment. When is the opposite, right? Having a plan, doing a budget, it's actually you taking control of your money and knowing where your money is coming from and knowing where your money is going, you know, to, right? And having that plan. And once you have a plan right in front of your face, you'll be able to take that control and know and plan and strategically plan while you and assign your every dollar a job, which I always tell my clients, you need to assign your every dollar a job. You tell them what to do, where to go. You take control of the money, not the other way around, right? And it's just having that plan and knowing exactly where your every dollar is going. Another issue that I see is exactly that, the mindset. A lot of people have this money habits, unhealthy money habits, that more often than not, they are so immune to it that they don't even realize what they're doing, right? And that's why one of the things that I hit is the mindset and make them see somehow, some way, this needs to be broken. This cycle needs to be broken so that you can see the results that you want to see, so that you can really come on the other side and build that, get out of the debt and create that financial stability that you're looking for, right? But you need to change your habits, and it's going to be uncomfortable. This is not an overnight thing. It's going to take some commitment, not some, in full commitment, and focus, and be able to really put your foot down and say, I'm going to do this. And sometimes when I have in my chat with people, I sometimes right away can see they're not ready, mentally ready to work with me. And sometimes it pains me because I have to tell them straight up, listen, if you cannot really commit yourself for yourself to yourself, then I cannot help you. This is a how you say that, a collective partnership
Mm-hmm.
work,
A team
right?
up.
I guide
Mhm.
you and help you, but then you need to do your part, right? So
Yeah, I love that. And those are the things, right? Those habits that we picked up because we've seen somebody do it or we got to, make that payment. But now we suffer the consequences later, right? So what are some of those consequences that you kind of want to highlight for those that are listening when they don't know where their dollars go?
well, they just get drowned in debt. They have every credit card out there, you know, they fall for that get this now and pay later situation, not realizing that you're paying for that item three times it's worth, because the interest and all of that. Paying the minimum on the credit cards, sometimes you, again, that's another way that's how the credit card make the money, because of the
Mm,
interest, right? You charge the card, you pay the minimum. Okay, yeah, you are in good standing every month, but when are you going to finish paying this situation, this whole debt, right? It's just not knowing. And now this, we are in the holidays. This is where this merchants and the stores really get you, right? Because a lot of people go to buy emotionally. That's one of the things, worst things. You cannot go buy with your emotions. Go buy with your head straight, you know, because it's how to get you. At me, I already know. And my son be laugh. Sometimes he'd be laughing because in the stores we go like, "Would you? Are you gonna say 20% if you get no?" I don't even let them finish the sentence most of the time.
mhm.
No, I don't want it. I'm allergic to credit cards, as I always say. So those are those little things here and there that people do sometimes automatically, unknowingly, unconsciously, that drowns them even more into the debt, into the situation, the habit, and they don't see that and change that mindset, and that habit is just going to continue happening.
Great information. And I just want to kind of stay in this arena real quick before we go into Badass Mama Moves, which I love. Um, let's talk about, so we talked about the potential um, outcomes that can happen, right? And these are just some statements that I've heard when we're in kind of that financial battle. I can't even be approved for a credit card and I need to make this happen, right? Not being able to have an emergency fund ready if God forbid I was laid off, if we have, if we have a job, or I can't pay this medical bill because I have no insurance. So all these things are the potential consequences. What are some questions when people are purchasing, whether emotionally or not, that they should be asking themselves about what they're about to purchase? Can you give us some tips on that?
I always tell my clients to ask themselves, do I need this or do I want this? And that is, for me, is key and pivotal for you to make that decision and that purchase. Do I need it? Do I want it? If you take too long to answer your own question, that own question, then you don't need it. Give yourself some
Mm-hmm.
time, put it back, give yourself some time, at least minimum 24 hours before you go back and actually get whatever it is that you're trying to buy, because 9 out of 10, you're even going to forget about it and not go back and buy it. But allowing yourself to really have that space to think and make a decision, because then again, you're going to spend that money when you really didn't need it and you could have used it for something else, like paying a tent, for instance, right? So it's just a matter of knowing, really. Another thing is like make a list. when you go grocery shopping, make a list and go by your list. You know, check the sales and this and that. Sometimes buying in bulk is a good thing. Sometimes it's not, right? It's just doing your homework to be able to really strategically manage your money.
Yeah, I love that. And I know we can stay just on this topic alone, but I will ask you one last question is what do you have to say to someone that really doesn't like to face their financial um, their financial status at the time where they're trying to they want to, right? They feel like they need to make a change, but they are too afraid to even or ashamed to even tell somebody. What would you suggest to them?
Yes, money is tied up in so many things, if not everything in our lives. You know, it's that one thing. Um, and yeah, it could be bring a lot of shame and anger and a lot of feelings. But one of the things that I will say is to really have that self reflection, you know, and really think and have that conversation with yourself as to why, and really look deep inside within as to why it is and what it is that is driving you to have that money habit and money behavior, right? It could come from many places and situations that from the past, it can come from the childhood, right? Because they didn't teach us or what we saw growing up in regards to money, right? Or a toxic relationship where you have no control. Whatever the case may be, is having first that acknowledgement and acceptance, mainly acceptance, because you can acknowledge something, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that you have accepted. It's having
Mhm.
that acceptance as to why I am like this with my money. Why do I manage my money this way? And take it from there and work towards it little by little, you know. But honestly, when a situation like that, you can do it alone. You need someone to help you and guide you. And I, as hard as it sounds and as a shameful as you may feel, you need someone to really help you because all these years you haven't been able to come out of it. More than likely, you won't be able to because alone, you more than likely you're gonna go back to and repeat those cycles.
I 100,000% agree with that. Just having another set of eyes look at, hey, what are my habits? Call us out, be ready for it. Because we're looking for the change, and that's all that matters is that something
Hmm.
changes from this day forward. And I love that you help women do that, and that you have the tools that help women to overcome that fear of even saying it out loud. Like, hey,
Hmm.
I jacked up my credit. Hey, I don't know how to manage money, or I and change that to I once upon a time didn't know how to manage money, but let me tell you, my money is working for me, right? Because that's the status we want our mamas to move in, especially moving into 2026 while the world is changing, while there's still
Hmm.
opportunities that those dollars that we save up, it's going to make all of the difference. That we can now remove the language from our vocabulary. Like, I can't do that. You know, I'm, you know, I have to see what my funds look like. Like we want to,
Hmm.
uh, you know, just as a business coach, but you as a financial advisor to be able to provide those tools. We want women to be like, I don't have to look at my bank account. This is what's going to happen. This is what I need. Here you go. Because I know that that's going to be the shift for my next level up and my next level up. Right. And I
Right.
love that you have that. Let's go into, and I can stay here all day. I really can't. But let's go into badass mama moves. Congratulations on facing your fear to get in front of the camera just like this and be able to share your topics and your stories. Let's say, what has been your favorite topic that you talked about from all your episodes?
Oh my God. Wow, so many. Well, there have been some emotional ones that I have had to really woosah myself because I'd be like crying in front of the camera. And it's just like, um, I had a lot of fun with the one that I spoke about dating as a single mom. That was one of them. One of them I spoke about having a conversation and teaching your kids about money. That's for me, it's very important because it's part of breaking the cycle. And I'm huge about breaking the cycle, right? You don't like, me personally, I don't want to repeat, right? Cycles, and pass it along. And the most recent one, it was about the empty chair, right? That I spoke about having that empty chair now that we're going to the holidays, and it not necessarily means someone that has passed, but someone is just simply not there anymore, whether it's a partner that just walked away, a loved one that is like far away, or someone that you have lost, how you can really give yourself some grace and space and to grieve and feel your emotions, right? We don't have to be strong all the time. We feel what we feel. We need to go through our journey and grieving journey and healing journey and cry when we have to, and always put on a smile, and it's just a matter of going through the flow, the healing flow, as I say.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
many episodes. I don't know. A few of them.
Yes. Well, where can they find those episodes?
Yes, they can go. Well, we are in Roku, Strimm TV, and in YouTube. And if you go into YouTube or any of them, you could go to Prospera TV Network and find me there. There's a whole lot of great episodes from other amazing hosts. You've been one of them, Nikki, which she leads loud. But yeah, just go to Prospera TV Network and look us up.
Yeah, I am so proud of you. I just have to publicly say that, Yara, we've been rocking and rolling for 2 years, and it has been such a journey, We've, shared the emotions, right? We've shared the laughs, we've shared all of that. And through community, being able to see a lot of your growth and you stepping into these roles, you're just a badass you're just a badass mama that moves. That is you and what you represent. And I love it. So let's talk about this FPU, which is Financial Peace University. Also, another great accolade that you accomplished this year. Congratulations. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a 9-week FPU stands for Financial Peace University. It's a 9-week guided course that takes you through the 1-7 baby steps. And it is a step-by-step plan that has helped millions. Like if you have heard Dave Ramsey, you have heard about the baby steps. So it is the same steps that he created way back when, to help people get out of debt and build wealth and create mini millionaires, as he calls them, and take control of their money for good, create that emergency fund, tackle that debt, and yeah, create financial stability. And like I said, I'm proud of being one of Ramsey's preferred coaches, teaching FPU and providing financial coaching services through his platform. Aside from Money Moves with Yara, right? I also do it through his platforms. And I'm prepping for my next cycle now, this coming winter of 2026. I don't have the exact dates yet, but whoever is interested, they can DM me on Facebook, so I can add them to the list and get with them whenever I have the exact dates and everything put together. I'm more than likely gonna do 2 coming now in 2026, like spring, winter and spring, going to spring. So just get with me and I'll get you in the list.
Yes, absolutely. So one last thing we have is you actually have a challenge coming up. You have a challenge.
Oh yes! Oh my God! How can I forget? You see, you know more about me than I do myself.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk
Okay.
about that.
Yeah, ask me again. What about what?
Yes, your challenge.
Yes, I have the 2026 TGIF Savings Challenge, and that is a binder. It's a simple, practical. Where's my binder? Hold on, let me go get it real quick.
Yep, go get it, girl.
It's right here. It's right here. Look how pretty. Oh, look, it fell. It's I don't know if you can look it up.
Yep,
I
we
don't
can
know
see
if you
it.
can see it. Yes. So it is a practical, simple, super intentional way to save 2026 dollars. So it's 2026 in 2026, as I said before. I have mentioned before. So every Friday, and now you know why TGIF, right? In the name was you
Mhm.
open the binder, you drop the money in the envelope, and then you check mark the amount because I broke down the amount per month. Um, which that you can each Friday, you know what amount you're gonna be putting in the envelope. You check off that the amount, and I also put down here a total. You could have the total, add the total for the envelope, and then the aggregate as you go through the months. I also created a quick thought section. It is towards the back, and this is a space to really write down notes to yourself about whatever you are noticing, whatever shifts you're noticing as you build this habit. As I go through as you go through the challenge, because journaling is really important. Because that helps you to see as well and make those shifts and really change those habits as part of the whole journey situation. So yeah, and the reason I created this, so it's fun and it's cute and it's shiny. I like shiny and colors, so you know me. So I
Yes.
created this with the vision on a serious note. I created this in the with the vision of breaking cycles and shifting those mindsets and breaking those unhealthy money habits, right? It's a way to help you, right? Because as a single mom, you know, I know survival mode way too good. And I know what it is, what it feels like to stretch a dollar, stretch a check into 2 and 3 paychecks. So I know that very well. So that's why I created this, right? So that you can start, it can help you as a tool of accountability and help you, at least taking that first step. If you don't want to do no coaching or anything yet, but at least you have something that can at least help you get there. And along the way, if you need a coaching or you want to really take a step, up a notch, then I'm here. So
I
this is right now. I'm actually mailing the first batch this week because I had the pre-order special price through November 30th. Now it's no longer a special price, but um, yeah, it's in my PayHip account store. Again, you can DM me if you want to get one. It's a great tool to start your year with the right foot or give it to someone for Christmas. A great gift.
I 100,000% agree. That's why I got mine, and I hope I'm in that first batch
Yes, you are. Yes, you
because
are
I am
right
what
there.
I am all about supporting what our ladies are doing, and I think this is a great way to share this opportunity with my son. So we're gonna do it together. So I'm super excited about it. And then we still have one more gift. So we do have our ladies of leadership don't know, but on one of our calls, we are gonna select a surprise winner to win one of um, this
Right.
challenge, this package,
Yeah.
so that we can this planner, so that we can elevate our 2026 with 2026 for $2,026 that we didn't even know we can make. And what I feel like this is, Yara, I think this is a perfect way to showcase that there is possibility, that you can break those habits, that you are able to be financially free through your process and what you are offering. So I want to thank you for, getting that download and running with it and binding those binders yourself and saying, hey, the next person that receives this binder, they're going to be blessed with this challenge. So I commend you for that, and this is what we're supposed to be doing with our ideas and with our passions and with our gifts that we have. And you actually have that gift of understanding the dollar, right? And being able to put something so creative and something so intentional so that women could be empowered and understand that they are worth that investment of really taking their ownership, their financial stuff into their hands, that power into their own hands. So how can they connect with you, Yara?
Yes, you can find me on Facebook. I go by Yara N Ortiz, the same way it appears in the screen. You can go into my website, bookkeepingcs.com. You can also email me at info@bookkeepingcs.com. Yeah, that's how you can find me.
Yes, I didn't have that link. I mean, I have the link, but I didn't have it ready for you here. But all her Yara is also on Linktree, so Yara Ortiz, and all these links, also with the link to get your hands on that. That would be very, very, very. That would be there very, very soon. So thank you so much. I'm not sure what, I don't know what the weather is like in South Carolina. I don't know what the weather is outside right now. It's trying to glitch us, but we are at 200 episodes, and the devil is a liar because we are putting this podcast out there. Yara, one, I love you. Thank you so much for being the 200th interviewee for Bomb Global Podcast. Thank you for being amazing. And I'm going to give you the floor to close out this session right now.
Well, thank you for having me.
What do you want to leave our audience with?
What can I leave you with? You can accomplish whatever you put your mind into. In this case, let's talk about money. If you commit yourself and you put your mind into, yes, I'm going to break this cycle, I'm going to shift this unhealthy money habit, you can do it. You just need to commit yourself, put your mindset into it, and just take the step, that first step, which is the hardest. And look for help. I'm here, like I said, if it's me, if I'm your person, I'm here. I could definitely help you with that, but you need to do it for yourself. You need to do it for you and for the future you.
I love that. The future you. Who is that future you? Let's start with our money mindset. Connect with Yara on all platforms. Comment below, subscribe, connect to her pages, and definitely take that first step. That's all it takes. It's just one step. And I know where her heart is and how she can deliver that. And, she doesn't just become your coach, she becomes your partner, and she walks you through it. So thank you so much, Yara, for being amazing. And thank you all for listening to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. Again, I'm your host. Have a great day and make it count. Bye, everyone.